excited for this daylight savings. I am so over the winter and the darkness. I am so excited for more daylight. Yeah, I know, I'm super excited for longer days, being outside, hopefully barbecuing and like getting a little bit back to normal. But if I don't plan ahead, the kids' sleep schedule is gonna be crazy. So the days are finally getting longer, warm weather is on the horizon, and spring is approaching. You know what that means. Daylight savings time is coming. If you have a baby or toddler and you're not sure how to prepare, then stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Missy Yando from Slumber and Bloom. I'm your mom life bestie, talking about all things motherhood, especially baby and toddler sleep and potty training. If you love these kinds of videos, subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. Now let's get into it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. Daylight savings is seriously confusing. You've got spring ahead and you've got fall back. I feel like we just did fall back, but now we're springing ahead. So as we are springing ahead our clocks, we need to pull back on your baby's schedule. Let's break it down. Before we get into the nitty-gritty details of exactly what to do for daylight savings, I want to talk to you about when you should do it and how quickly or how slowly you should do it. And there are a couple different strategies here. When my kids were younger, I was the kind of mom who wanted to prepare ahead of time and just kind of get ahead of the changes so that it wasn't such a huge adjustment. Now that my kids are older, they do perfectly fine with not really preparing at all, but they are also 4, 5, and 7 years old. So if you have a child younger than that, then I am definitely going to recommend that you plan ahead. Now, you can plan ahead a couple days in advance or a couple weeks in advance. And here are some of the reasons that you may want to plan like 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time. If you have a grumpy, clingy, or resisting change kind of child, then you're going to want to take this slower, which means you're going to want to start 1 to 2 weeks before the change. You'll know how your baby is going to react to a time change based on how they act during a leap, a growth spurt, how they act if they miss a nap, or anything like that. When something may be out of the ordinary or changes their schedule, however they react to that is likely how they will react to this. So if your child has a really hard time with changing their schedule, then I would definitely prepare at least a week ahead of time for daylight savings. On the other side of that coin, if your child is pretty easygoing and is totally happy-go-lucky, even if they miss a nap, then you probably either don't need to prepare at all or maybe just a couple days ahead of the change. If you're choosing not to prepare ahead of time, you may see a couple really early morning wake-ups, but you need to stick to your regular schedule because you don't want to reinforce those early morning wake-ups. So if your child's waking up at 4 a.m., you are going to have to stick to your guns and keep your kid awake until 9 a.m. before they could take an appropriate nap if they're in the age range of needing 2 naps a day or 3 naps a day still. So this is definitely going to be a lot of information for a lot of different age ranges, but I'm specifically going to refer to children who are on 2 to 3 naps a day. So probably in the 6-month-old to about 18-month-old range. If your child is on 1 nap, then you basically should be on a by-the-clock schedule and you should just stick to their schedule anyways. That was a little disclaimer. So if you definitely decided that your child needs 1 to 2 weeks of adjusting their schedule ahead of the change, then here's what you need to do. We're springing the time on the clock ahead, but we need to push their schedule back so that as we're preparing for the change, if they currently wake up at 7 a.m., which after daylight savings, it's going to be 8 a.m., we need to gradually push them back closer to 6 a.m. so that once we make that 1-hour change, they're back at 7 a.m. I really hope that that made some sense. Let's go for an example, okay? Let's say your kid usually wakes up at 7 a.m. So what I want you to do is wake your kid up at 6:45 a.m. for 2 or 3 days. and then we're gonna move it up to 6:30 for 2 or 3 days, and then we're gonna move it up to 6:15 for a few days, and then 6 a.m. for a few days. And then it's going to be daylight savings. This is the big day. This is the morning you wake up and the clocks have changed. Your baby's been used to waking up at 6 a.m. for the past couple days because you adjusted their schedule, but wait, we just adjusted the clocks and we sprang forward, so now it is 7 a.m. and your child is back to waking up at normal time. That might have been a really good description. Let me know in the comments down below if that was clear and concise. So that is what I want you to do. If you have a more reluctant to change child, I only want you to adjust their schedule by 15 minutes every few days. If your child is more easygoing, then you can probably adjust it by 30 minutes and keep it there for a couple days, and then another 30 minutes for a couple days. I want you to expect there to be some sort of sleep troubles in this process. Maybe they are really extra tired. I'm sure you're going to be extra tired. Maybe they're going to skip naps. Maybe they're going to take short naps. Maybe they're going to fight bedtime. Maybe they wake up a little more during the night, but you have to expect these things are going to happen. Stay the course for at least 2 weeks and don't change anything. Set your plan, stick to your plan, and stick to it for 2 weeks. And 110%, do not fall into any new habits. If your child is waking up super early, do not go rock your baby back to sleep. You can go check on your baby and let them know that it's still sleep time and that you'll be back to get them when it's time to wake up. But if you start rocking them to sleep, then you're creating new habits, and this is where people run into trouble with daylight savings. Now, there are some important things that you need to remember. Now, we are saving daylight here, right? So 7 a.m., what used to be 7 a.m. will now be 8 a.m., which means it's going to be brighter earlier. I think, right? Yeah. Seriously, like, you need to make sure that your child's room is 100% dark. 100%. I'm not even kidding. You need to do the hand test. If you can see your hand in front of your face, it's not dark enough in your kid's room. It needs to be pitch black. Any amount of light that is getting into your child's room is triggering their brain and letting them know that it is daytime and it is time to wake up. You also want to make sure that you are having continuous white noise throughout the night while your child is sleeping. This is going to help them connect their sleep cycles and stay asleep for longer stretches. So like I said, you need to create a plan and stick to it. If you need one-on-one help getting through this, you can always contact me, missy@slumberandbloom.com. Or you can fill out my contact form if you want a one-on-one consultation. If your child does not have good sleep habits at this point and you're already frustrated, now is a really good time to consider jumping into a consultation. Head over to the link in the description box down below to check out my sleep packages. I would be honored to help your family along your sleep journey and get more sleep for the entire family. Not only do you deserve more sleep, but you need more sleep. So I hope that you really learned a lot from this video. I hope that I made the whole time change more clear, and I hope that this is a smooth transition for your family. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the bell so you get notified every time I put out new videos, and I will see you next week. Bye!